Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you are watching this, know that I appreciate you. It is I, Jay, and I'd like to welcome you to another day in the daily life of Jay. And for those who may be confused, even though I have stated in the intro what my name is, it is Jay. J-A-I. Jay. Oh, the lighting is crazy. But the sun is gorgeous on my pretty brown face. How are you all this morning? Did you sleep well? I pray that you slept well. I really, really do. Sleeping well is not a common thing for me, which is why I'm always praying that somebody slept better than I did. Last night was one of those nights. Didn't sleep well at all. Last night was an interesting night. But just like I said in yesterday's vlog, I should have anticipated it. Just because of who I am married to. So last night we are lounging around the house. He's playing his video games. He decides he's done playing the video games. We come, I sit on the sofa, he sits on the sofa with me. I'm on the tablet searching silently and secretly for a dog for him. No luck. And he is coloring on the coloring app on his phone. And then he says he's done. Now, neither one of us has eaten dinner. I asked him when I came home from work, had he thought about what he wanted for dinner, and he said no, he was not hungry. I was not hungry until round about 9:30, but at that point I knew whatever I ate, it wasn't going to be heavy because it was 9:30. So I'm sitting there, I'm scrolling through, I've got Hometown on the TV, I'm listening to it in the background, and then he says, "Come here, babe." So I go, I get on the bed, "What's up?" And he says, "Let's order IHOP for dinner." I'm sorry, what? Let's order IHOP for dinner. Go get their menu. A bird just pooped on my windshield. Curses. And another one just pooped. I heard it when it hit. Plopped on the car. And there's another one. So there must be a lot of birds. And there's another one on the windshield. Yeah. And I haven't looked up, so I don't know how they're flying right now. But clearly, there's a flock of them. And I need to get that off my windshield. So he says, go look up the menu. Let's go look at the menu. I said, do you understand that it's, it's time to rest right now? It's time to rest right now. Yeah, I know, but we gotta eat. We gotta eat. And I get up, and as I'm getting up, I say, you really dislike the idea of me resting, of me actually getting rest. You dislike that idea. So I go look up the IHOP menu. I go through the IHOP menu. I select what I want to eat, which, by the way, was delicious. I did not finish it all last night because it was too much food, and I did finish it for breakfast this morning. So I have eaten very well this morning, and now for some crazy reason I want a cup of coffee. I don't even drink coffee like that, but I want a cup of coffee. So I pick out what I want, and I give him the tablet, and he selects what he wants. So I call them, I order it, we go, and we come back home. By the time we come back home, it is probably 11:15 at this point. Because mind you, I said 9:30 is when he thought about this. It took me really no time to figure out what I wanted, because I knew I was going to do breakfast. It was just a matter of, did I want pancakes, French toast, or crepes? And I don't necessarily care for their crepes. I mean, they're okay, but I don't necessarily care for their crepes. And their variety in the French toast was not enough for me. So I went with chocolate chip pancakes. And again, delicious. But I did not eat it all last night because it was too heavy. So I had the combo. I had the chocolate chip pancakes, the hash browns, the scrambled eggs, and bacon. He ordered French toast, sausage, excuse me, scrambled eggs with cheese, and a side of ham. So we each had 2 meats because we split the ham. We ate a lot of pork at the middle of the night. So I ate half of my food, and I sat up for a while because I knew I could not just lay right down. So I sat up for probably another 30 to 45 minutes. So I didn't get in bed until close to midnight, if not midnight. And he was in the bed, but then he kept getting up. He got up about 3 or 4 times last night. Excuse me, which means that I was awakened about 3 or 4 times last night, which means I did not sleep very well last night. But it was good. It was a good meal. We really enjoyed it. He ate a good portion of his meal, which I was happy about. And he stopped when he needed to stop, which was, usually he'll keep eating because it's so good, and then he ends up having to, and I know this is TMI, but he ends up having to throw it back up. But this time he stopped himself. And sometimes he's really good. He'll see, he'll feel rather, okay, this needs to be my last bite, because anything more than this, and I'm going to end up throwing it up. But a lot of times that's not what he does. A lot of times he's like, I feel that I'm about to throw it up, but I'm going to keep eating because it's delicious. That was not last night. Last night he decided that he had to stop, which he did. So he can finish his this morning as well, if he wants. So yeah, we had a good night. It was interesting because of the whole IHOP thing. And then it actually kind of reminded me of when we were living in Chicago and how we would get up at odd hours, especially on the weekends, get up at odd hours and run, make ice cream runs. Sweets runs is what they really were, because he had a sweet tooth, has a sweet tooth. So yeah. And what did I do as far as before I got the whole let's go to IHOP thing? I didn't do much of anything. I actually kind of I did my best to just relax last night, because I did a lot of work over the weekend with clearing out all of that paper and cleaning up some stuff. So I didn't do much of anything last night. I literally sat there on the sofa when I finally sat down on the sofa and just kind of relaxed. Now, I did kind of sort our clothes. I don't fold his clothes. He doesn't fold mine. So I sorted our clothes, but I didn't start putting mine away yet. So his clean clothes are in the basket, waiting for him to fold and put away. My clean clothes are in a basket or in a hamper, waiting for me to fold and put away or hang and put away. Most of my stuff is on hangers. And everything has to be ironed because I just didn't put it away as I dried them rather. That's normally what I do when I dry my clothes. I take them out and I put them on hangers and fold what needs to be folded and I put it away. I didn't do that this weekend because I was doing too many other things that I just put the stuff in the baskets, put it in the baskets. So yeah, I did that. And then I sat and relaxed. Like I said, I silently and secretly searched for a dog for him. I found quite a few dogs. I just didn't find the price that would be beneficial to us because what we're looking for, if we don't find it in a shelter, is going to cost us some money. And everything that I found, I take that back. A lot of the stuff that I found, because I did find some stuff under $1,000, but a lot of the doggies that I found, the puppies that I found, were anywhere from $1,200 to, I saw a dog for $11,000 last night, a little teacup dog. $11,000. I said, there is no way in the world that even if I had that kind of money, would I do that for a dog that I still got to take care of, that comes with nothing but papers that say I'm a teacup whatever. $11,000 for a dog. So I did find a couple of little puppies for like $3.25. I found a couple for like $6.50. But my whole mindset is, if we can find something in a shelter, let's make that thing happen. I would really rather do that instead of spending a tremendous amount of money with a breeder. And I say that because we've gone both routes. And I have actually, like our first dog, my first dog, not the dog that my grandparents had and said, here, this dog is for the kids. No, not really. And when they said the kids, they meant my brother and I. They did their thing with their first dogs. Like their first dog, they paid a friend who, and actually they didn't even pay the friend. The friend had to relinquish the dog, and she didn't want to relinquish it to an animal shelter. She wanted to relinquish it to someone who wanted a dog. So that was their first dog. Their second dog, where did they get their second dog? I don't remember where they got their second dog. But they had him until they had to have him euthanized. So he lived a good long time. He lived to see all three of my children. He lived, when they got him, I was probably a junior in high school, either junior or senior in high school. And he lived until probably my youngest was about 2 or 3. Yeah, about 2, probably 2, because I waited a year before I got a dog for them. And I got our dog, our first dog, as a family in my own home when my youngest was like 3 or 4. So I waited a good. So they got their dog. Their dog had to be put down when my youngest was 2, going into 3, or had just turned 3. And then I waited a year and I got the kids a dog. And I think I paid $50 for that dog and then took him to the vet and got him scheduled for his shots and everything. Our second dog we paid about $1,200 for, and then we had to surrender him because we couldn't bring, and I've told this story before, we couldn't take him to an apartment that we were looking at, that we were renting, about to rent, and then we ended up not renting that apartment, and we decided to move here, and we couldn't have brought him here anyway. So yeah, so, and then our last dog we actually got from a shelter, and I paid $100 for the dog. So I'm really not looking to pay too much more than that for a dog. And I think if we go to a shelter, we should find something. However, the husband, well, one, we have to get a small dog. That's a must. It has to be a small dog, because of one, where we live, but two, because he can't handle another big dog. Our dog that we had to relinquish was the big dog. He was a big dog. He was stocky, short but stocky, and very, very playful. And even in his playing, he had so much power. So one, it has to be a small dog, but two, we don't want another older dog. We want something that we can train. I don't necessarily want a new puppy. I would rather have something about a year old, but at the same time, you have to, if they have not been properly trained, it takes a lot to train a dog at that age, because they're kind of set in their ways depending on what they've already been taught or not. So that's what I did last night, looking for a dog. I don't want to pay more than $100. I'm hoping to find something in a shelter. That is becoming more and more difficult, because people, when they adopt it for the holidays, they adopt it for the holidays. And there aren't very many small breed dogs in shelters, because not many people relinquish small breed dogs unless it's a fresh litter, and they didn't know that the litter was coming, or they did know the litter was coming, but they knew that they would be able to take care of it. So we haven't been able to find within our criteria a dog at the Humane Society. So that's why I was searching silently and secretly for a dog. So yeah, that's what I was doing last night. Yesterday, our new employees started. I did not do my live. I mentioned that I was going to do a live yesterday. I did not do my live. I actually just opted to relax. I did not do my live. And my office is a mess right now because I've done so much cleaning. Or I've done so much decluttering of stuff that I've got a whole lot of clutter right now. So I didn't do the live. I'll do it this week though, because it needs to be done. And I'm still trying to find a regular day to make that happen. I'm thinking Monday would be the day, but I don't know yet, because I'm already doing something on Thursday. I try not to do anything over the weekends like lives, unless it's a course or a webinar. And even doing it over the weekends is kind of tough because it's hard to find the right time slot. So I'll figure it out when I can do my lives during the week. Monday might be the day. Monday might be the day. We'll see. We shall see. So what's going on today? Nothing. I don't have anything planned today. Our new person started yesterday. Got him right on board. We started training, watching the training videos. It's boring, very. we'll see what day 2 brings. I have to get my fingerprints done for my temporary insurance license. I've decided to go ahead and get the insurance license. So I've scheduled to get my fingerprints for the 5th. I think I said the 5th. So I've got that scheduled, and then after I get the fingerprints, then I can finish the temporary application, or the application for the temporary license. So I'll get the temporary license, and then from that point, I think it's good for 90 days. And then during that 90 days, I've got to study so that I can take the actual test. Take the actual test to get the permanent license, and then that way I can take that license with me wherever I go and sell insurance if I so choose. I've got to look to see how long I've got to be under a sponsor though for that, because I know for the temporary I've got to be under a sponsor. For the full 90 days that I'm under temporary, I've got to be under a sponsor. But once I get the permanent license, I don't know how long I have to be under a sponsor. I'll see. Because I don't know how long I'm going to be at this place, at this location. Because in truthfulness, I'm not hearing God say this is a long-term thing. And I'm trying not to vocalize that, because no one really needs to hear all of the conversations that God and I have, especially those at work when it pertains to work. No one really needs to hear all of those conversations. So, but yeah, I'm not hearing God say this is a long-term thing. Basically, get what you need to get, and when it's time, I'm going to move you. So that's what and I had to pray about this license, because I really didn't know if I wanted to get it or not. It sounded interesting, but I wasn't sure that I actually wanted to get the license. So I had to pray about it. And then I got the answer that I should start the process with the temporary, and not the full-fledged license. Start the process with the temporary. Are you going to stop? And then get the permanent, because I could have just gone right into the permanent. I could have just studied and got the permanent, but I chose to get the temporary instead. One sec, guys. Alright guys, sorry about that. I had to order my drink, and then I remembered that I needed to scan my code. So I did that. But yeah, so that's the day. That's what I did yesterday. That's what's going on today so far. Absolutely nothing, just really still sitting with the new person and making sure that he's good. And just doing my job. That's it. Just doing my job. So I pray that all of you have a tremendously wonderful day. That it's productive, that it's what you need it to be in the moment. And that you get done what you need it to get done, whether it is work or family or whatever, that you're able to get it accomplished. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get myself inside this office. Peace and blessings. Remember to walk in your purpose and know that I appreciate you.